story about the future.
Just because Clooney's face is in the picture doesn't make this not narration.
Environmental collapse.
And scientific breakthroughs, wonder and beauty.
Could you please just stop interrupting?
The screenwriter of this movie would be excellent at CinemaSins, curiously.
And closer.
I know. Tell them about
I can't tell them anything until I...
Skip. It's official. Everyone working at Hollywood had some formative experience with the World's Fair back in the day, and it led to every screenplay ever written. This kid survives this.
How would your jetpack make the world a better place?
Can't it just be fun?
Okay, first of all, that this judge can't see the practical implementations of a working jetpack. Second of all, that this kid who invented it can't describe one practical application of a personal flying machine.
Who are you? I'm the future Frank Walker.
That is not an acceptable answer to anyone not living inside a movie. Why the f is there an empty-ass boat floating down the water here? Is that the rescue boat, in case the one in front gets attacked by the communists? Also, good to see 1960s World's Fair security is roughly equivalent to modern-day security at a 49ers game. Helmets are hung at a height just so this ride will injure little kids. I think Roald Dahl designed this transport. Well, I guess falling is no longer a concern in this realm, eh? Robot accidentally turns this kid into the Rocketeer for 2 seconds. Kid falling to his death stops to admire the view. Just how Athena planned it.
Because if you think you could tell the story better, I would absolutely love to hear you try.
I would too. Futuristic movie steals the beginning scene of just about every paranormal activity.
That's Sirius. That's Canopus.
Are you going to go through your entire childhood?
This argument is not endearing. She's outside a perimeter fence about to operate an RC helicopter, but she decides to do it bathed in all the light. And allegedly, this is a NASA launch platform, so security is minimal. iPhone product placement couldn't feel more forced if it tried. Wait, what kind of security fence is this? It just curves outward? No spikes or razor wire at the top or nothing? Just a gentle slope? I mean, no wonder, right? Why would you remove your helmet and hood immediately after landing in the property you're trying to stealthily infiltrate? Sure, let's get distracted by stars while you're on the restricted NASA launch site. Movie shows me the Demon Looper kid mere minutes after showing me the one kid who played young Noah on Heroes. Movie is trying to give me a stroke solely from evil-looking child actors.
Even the teeniest of actions could change the future.
Well, Ashton Kutcher from Butterfly Effect believes you, but Bruce Willis from 12 Monkeys does not. And I'm gonna have to go, oh shit. I chose 2 time travel example actors who were both married to Demi Moore. I swear to God I didn't do that on purpose. Discount Tim, holy fucking crap.
Yeah, Eddie Newton.
Sure, Newton's his last name. You might as well have called this guy E. Einstein McSquared. Girl who sabotaged NASA platforms keeps hesitating, for some reason, in taking a single bite of that apple in her hand. Smart girl keeps doing this because maybe she wants to get caught? She's a serial killer in waiting? Once again, Athena just expects people to know what to do with like this. Discount Emerald City. What's the point of being transported to a different place if you're constrained by the limitations of the original place? Guy in handcuffs is allowed to interact with people, talk, and do stuff normal prisoners are not allowed to do.
No idea of the strings I had to pull to keep Homeland Security from pressing charges, Casey.
Well, what? Did you have to blow someone? You seem to be well beyond retired, so what kind of favors can you even call in at this point? Hey, General, I'll sing at your daughter's wedding if you look the other way on this one. What's that? Yes, Jesus, I'll bring my f***ing wife, okay? Why is it always daytime in this f***ing field, no matter what time it is on Earth when she touches this shit? Now she knows she's constrained by where her body actually is, and she still does this in her dad's room. Man, this magically transporting pin is some bullshit. Also, I think this is a nasty enough fall to sin the fact that she survives this. Casey is absolutely sure that she can navigate through the other world by traveling in this world, which doesn't make sense, considering she appeared in virtually all the same spots from the jail, from the car, and from the house. Wait, are you telling me she eyeballed that distance from her own front yard? That's amazing! How many people have died using this pin transporter? A lot, right? We're in the middle of a 5-minute unbroken shot, which would feel a lot more impressive if I didn't feel like it was getting broken every time the camera moved to look at some heavy amounts of green screen and special effect. This guy's digital futuristic newspaper is still rigid in form and not remotely pliable or paper-like. Well, this is essentially the same set Guardians of the Galaxy used for the scene where all the Guardians are arrested at once. Huzzah for thriftiness!
Now you run out of power!
If it had kept going for a few seconds longer and then given out, you would have drowned, just FYI.
What are we looking for?
You're looking for a collectible pin with a T on it. Shouldn't be too hard to find that very specific one on eBay. Also, just type in vintage round pins and that come up in no time.
Okay, give me their number.
Jesus, can't you look at the screen?
Could you please tell me when Casey will be back?
Aren't you following her around? What is your deal that you follow someone around, give them a mysterious pin, leave, and then come back at some random time with no clue of their whereabouts?
Don't ask me how I know your name. I know it the same way I know that you are lying to me.
But you can't figure out where the hell Casey went because you're omniscient until you aren't.
Are you from the future? You clearly understand. So why aren't you telling me?
You showed no evidence you were some sort of future girl until you told Nathan his name? You're a robot. Logic already. Casey goes looking for information about a future teleportation pin at a store dedicated to a largely forgettable Brendan Fraser movie. I see you, Luke Skywalker uniform blatantly placed in the background, and I'm not gonna fall for your subliminal bullshit. Brad Bird manages to pimp the Iron Giant in his expensive Disney movie. Now I really want to watch the Iron Giant as opposed to this. This movie's true comic geek nerd expert hides in his geek shop behind Star Trek doors that are musically linked to Star Wars music, and which look like a robot's vagina. It's 10:30 in the morning, and I'm honestly surprised Casey is up and at him this early, and that the nerdy geek store is open and its employees are even awake.
I saw that you were looking for one online.
Where did you get it?
Wait a minute, you mean you found a store that was merely looking for this pin, as opposed to actually selling them? Is that how eBay works? Why would you go to this store for information anyway? Does their need imply transportation knowledge? People this serious about finding a collectible pin run a small store in Houston and hope people see their one ad on eBay. Also, this movie just jumped the Men in Black. Athena Ex Machina. Also, how the f*** did she get here in time? She's not using any kind of futuristic transport to get from Cape Canaveral to Houston in 10 minutes. And yeah, she can run really fast, but not like Florida to Texas to save somebody fast.
What just happened?
Well, you got a ridiculous bloody nose that no previous scene even hinted at. That's what happened.
And I do wish you hadn't run off before I had a chance to give you some rather necessary context.
Are you serious? Is this how future pin exchanges work? Let's just give this girl a transporting pin while she's locked up in jail, leave no notes, and expect her to just wait around for a mysterious person they do not know exists to come by and explain it to them? How often does that work? In what world can someone reach the brake from the passenger side, especially when they're like 5'3"? Once again, movie driver apparently can't see a goddamn person walking across the street and just plows right into them. Fucking Texas, man. Luckily, no one is around to see these 3 cops get vaporized right after the store exploded. There just isn't anyone who's curious in the city of Houston.
Tell him we found the girl.
In what world have you found the girl? You found evidence of the girl, but you have no clue where she went after that.
Hold on. Recruitment for what? I'm not allowed to answer that.
Well, that's convenient for the movie's plot, considering all the crap you've already told her. So far, we're about an hour in, and we're still pretty much in the dark about what the f*** is going on in this movie. They've been driving a stolen truck for a really long time, and absolutely no cops have pulled them over for that or the smashed windshield. Also, does this girl have, like, tons of money stashed away to go on huge road trips like this?
Casey, I know you have no reason to trust me.
I know you have no reason to trust me, so you should trust me cliché. The audience should now care about the memories of a robot girl who once played that paper-choosing game with Frank. Terrified girl somehow has the wherewithal to notice that this dog isn't leaving paw prints. I mean, I know she's a genius, but that is some crazy to notice. Hot digital dog! This guy, who has a hologram guard dog and a thing that knocks you the f*** out when you're at his door, doesn't have any other security beyond that when it comes to his secret satellite hoarding place. Only when Casey sets the tractor on fire does this guy's security wake up again. And that is an oddly specific reason for the alarm to go off when she's been walking all over the property. That's a pretty f***ing good fire extinguisher he's invented and not shared with the world. What a dick. The next couple of minutes of film will be brought to you by hologram technology. I mean, he has a hologram guard dog that looks real, for Christ's sake. Couldn't he just have something like that to play his home movies? Well, I'd make a quip about this clock timer countdown thing being ripped off from Lost, except Lindelof actually wrote this script, so I think whatever statement I make about it would need to include the words self and plagiarism. Oh look, he has a secret way in. He just waited forever to use it for some reason.
Let's accept that there is a world where I know with absolute certainty the exact time of your death.
It seems like this movie should have been sliding into the end of its first act right about here. Instead, they wasted 15 minutes on these two interrupting each other about how the story should be told and another 45 on confusing future pin technology before they finally got here. Shutters are wired to go down one by one, and not all at the same time, so people starting on one side of the house still actually have a chance to break in after the button is pushed. I'd like to point out that by merely making these hunter people robots instead of humans, the film was able to get away with violently stabbing one of them to death in the chest and ripping one's head clean off without it affecting the MPA's rating. Whoa, you mean this one area of the house has magnets? That's amazing. Are you saying she didn't hit him enough times with the bat to keep him from doing this? And Frank, who's experienced with these robots, literally said that's enough. But whatever, sometimes an action sequence just needs some bullshit tension.
We're actually prepared for that?
I know, right? And somehow not prepared for the old flaming tractor routine you used to sneak inside.
My hat!
Leave it!
No, I can't go without it.
Having a lucky something you can't live without. Oh good, Athena's back. Why did she leave again? Did she have to go do research on the One Ring?
Move over.
You know, I think this movie missed a real opportunity right at this moment to turn this thing into a road trip film. Think about it. A cranky old inventor, a plucky teenage girl, and a sarcastic child robot, all in a crappy pickup driving from one coast to another. Imagine the wacky adventures they'd have. Wait, are they just gonna let the girl robot that is obviously 10 years old drive the truck in broad daylight? Like, no one's gonna see that and report it?
You still think you're recruiting, don't you?
50 minutes until the credits, and we're still in the dark about what this movie is about.
We need to get to the spectacle.
Spectacle?
This isn't the pronoun game, but it's the pronoun game, and it's expositionally pissing me off.
Do I have to explain everything? Can't you just be amazed and move on?
The movie speaks directly to the audience.
There's Coke in the fridge.
You haven't been here in more than 25 years, according to this movie. I think both the fridge and the Coke are well past their time. She stole the Coke intended for Frank, and he just carries on like he, too, did not lose 90% of his blood sugar in the trip. And even if he has experience with this, it was 40 years ago. Dude should be doubled over in a Coke-needing fetal position right now.
They were a part of all this?
Eiffel, Jules Verne, Tesla, and Mr. Edison.
So this movie is saying Tesla and Edison willingly cooperated together on a science thing? Do you think this movie realizes how national treasure it's gotten at this point? Because I don't think it does. Luckily for the story, except it looks fake as shit.
We're not going to die.